Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, March the 12th, 2021. Happy Friday to you all. And also, I hope you're all well. I hope you're COVID-free. I hope you're getting healthy. I hope you're gainfully employed and having all your needs met. There was a basketball game last night, but before we go into that, couple of things. I was away. First of all, blessings on those that are working in the healthcare field to take care of sick people, to risk their lives often in doing that. There's no amount of money you can pay a person in the healthcare field for saving somebody's life or risking their own to do so. Also, blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us, keeping our places clean and sanitary. Many places are not that fortunate. Also, blessings on those that make deliveries for us to make life more convenient for us, oftentimes for poor pay and bad conditions. Also, double blessing on those who are seeking to deliver little boys and little girls and teenagers from the clutches of sex slave operations and sex trade operations, which are going on planet Earth right now, and people paying upwards into the billions of dollars for videos and films and magazines featuring underage children in sexual acts. Also, curses on those that support such an industry. Finally, blessings on those who are helping the homeless. 500,000 in the United States alone of men, women, and children, including veterans, living on the street. Not including the hundreds of thousands and even millions that are around the world without a roof over their head. Maybe Most High bless those that are helping them and bless them also so that soon there'll be no more homeless. There was a basketball game last night. I missed the game. I saw a replay this morning. Knicks against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Knicks had beaten the Bucks earlier this season, and the Bucks got their revenge last night in a major way. What I saw when I saw the game, the Knicks did not play well. I mean, it's obvious. They lost 134-101. They lost the game. It was a coast-to-coast victory for the Bucks. The Knicks played well in spurts, but again, and this is the theme of today's video, we're talking about the tale of two teams, basically. We're looking at a Knicks team as where they are right now, and Milwaukee Bucks represent a Knicks team where they're going to be probably in the next 2 seasons. Yes, probably in the next 2 seasons. And that's what we've been saying all along. This is the first year of a redevelopment of the Knicks. Okay? It's the first year of redevelopment of the Knicks. So, or just starting off from rebuilding. It's our first year of rebuilding. All right. And I'd say, of course, the Knicks are doing very well at 500 right now, 19-19, tied for 6th in the East. The Knicks have been in that 4 to 8 spot the whole season. They've been in pretty much playoff contention the majority of the season. I expect them to make the playoffs now. I'm not even talking about if they make the playoffs. I expect the Knicks to make the playoffs. But let's go over the things that led up to last night's debacle. So we're talking about a team in the Milwaukee Bucks that the Knicks want to be in 2 years, and I think they will get there. This also is a lesson for the Knicks. The All-Star break sometimes allows teams, right, to get healthy, get rested, come back ready to go. This All-Star break for a rebuilding Knicks team was not so good. You want me to tell you why? In fact, I'm going to tell you why. Over the All-Star break, you had our boy, Julius Randle, an All-Star, deservedly so, should be All-NBA this year. You had focus on RJ and the Rising Stars. You have focus on Obi, who got robbed in the dunk contest and should have won the dunk contest, even though I didn't think it was, worth all that. But he still got robbed. And then so during the course of this past week, what happened that normally doesn't happen, especially this year under Tom Thibodeau and crew, the Knicks got to read the newspapers, so to speak, to look at social media, to see what was being written about them and how well they have progressed and how they, might be looking for a star and how they're in playoff contention and how basically good they've been this year. That was not good for the New York Knicks. And this is part of the learning process. It's part of the learning process. So they came out last night a step slow. Julius Randle admitted he was a step slow on all his possessions defensively. And again, as we have pretty much seen for the majority of this season, the second unit played better than the first unit. We've seen that the majority of the season. In the second quarter, the Knicks were within 2 at one point. Now they didn't win any quarters last night. They didn't win any quarters. They came close in the third quarter. They lost the third quarter by 2. But they really were making a run in the second quarter until Tom took out the second unit. When the first unit came back in, that's all she wrote. The second unit played better defense, and even they were not, up to their usual standards. I mean, Quickly scored 15, but he was 3 of 10 from the field. He was, he was a volume scorer, but not an efficient scorer last night. All right. That was what happened. So, but what I saw, what encourages me, Obi Toppin, I don't know how many minutes did Obi play last night. Obi played, I think he played 20 minutes. Did he play 20 minutes yesterday? Let's see, I'll tell you right quick. Hold on. Obi played, because when he played, he really battled Giannis pretty well. In fact, I'd say he battled Giannis very well. Okay. Obi Toppin last night, he played 19 minutes, 4 of 5 from the field. He scored 10 points. We got to get this kid some more minutes. I don't know how we're going to do it. Also, I'm looking at myself and I got to let y'all know I had some dental work done. That's why I was out for the week. I was in Mexico getting dental work done, which I recommend anybody that needs serious dental work, try another country, because it's what I paid for my grill to get upgraded. And hopefully the sound is better than what it was before for some of y'all that was complaining about that nasty noise my mouth was making. It's literally half what I would have paid in the United States for the same surgeries, So, I recommend look around. I got mine done in Mexico. There's, you could go to Thailand, you could go to the Philippines, there's a lot of places where there's very good dentists, and they're half the price you paying here. Sometimes less. Matter of fact, I would even pay less than that if I went to the Thailand, but we didn't have the time to go that far away. It's a whole 24 hours plus trip to get there, and to get back. So, whereas, we got to Mexico, within a few hours, yeah. So, but my face is a little swollen because they put a lot of painkiller in there when they was, doing the surgery, so that's why my face is a little puffy right now. But, they did hook your boy's grill up pretty good, I have to say. But, anyway, back to what we're talking about. So, Obi played 19 minutes. We got to get him some more minutes because, as the season goes on, we got to remember, Obi is an older rookie. I mean, he's 23 now, but he's still a rookie. Okay, he's still a rookie. He still needs to get used to the speed of the NBA game. He's not as NBA ready as I thought he would be, which is why, as you recall, when we did our draft, all of our draft videos before the draft this past season, I had 3 players ahead of Obi, as far as my draft pick. Although I knew that the Knicks favored Obi, and if they could get him, they would. I hoped that they wouldn't get him. I hope they would get, as you know, Devin Vassell. I wanted Tyrese Halliburton. I also like Patrick Williams. If you recall, I like Patrick Williams. And so, there were people that I liked ahead of Obi Toppin. But I knew that Obi Toppin would have to be the sentimental favorite because he is from New York, right? So here we are. So, and I expected him be a little bit more NBA ready. I actually thought he would be rookie of the year no matter where he was because being NBA ready, but he wasn't as NBA ready. Tyrese Halliburton, Emmanuel Quickly, obviously LaMelo Ball. There's a lot of players that are more NBA ready this year than Obi Toppin. But that's being the case, that's okay. Now everybody comes in like that. Now everybody is at the same speed of development. Okay, just like every human being doesn't grow at the same rate. Well, Obi's he's going to develop. He's got game. He's got talent, obviously. He just needs more time. He needs more time. He's going to need his rookie deal. He's 23 now. Like I said, when he comes at the end of his rookie deal, he'll be 26. Rookie deals are 4 years. At the end of his rookie deal, he'll be 26 years old. And so, I expect rapid development from him over the next couple of seasons, because of his age, because of his athletic ability, because of his maturity. And that's been pretty much the story of his life. I mean, if you look at him from when he come out of high school, he wasn't recruited. He went to other small high school, prep schools, went to small college, and he finally ended up at Dayton, and he developed. It took him a while. He was a sophomore at Dayton, but he was a senior's age, right? So it took him a while to develop. That's probably the way he's going to go in the NBA. He's going to take a little couple of seasons to develop, but I think he's going to be very good. I liked the few minutes I saw him against the MVP of the league, defensive player of the year in the league. He played very well. I like that. I like how he played. He does some dumb rookie mistakes, he's rookie, but he's going to learn. He's going to learn. I like that we got Obi. See, I looked at it like this. In a couple of seasons, say 2 seasons, and then of course, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, he's very frustrating to watch sometimes, because you can see like a game like last night where Milwaukee couldn't do anything with him. I mean, his offensive game, and RJ is a slasher, right? He played 28 minutes last night. He scored 22 points. RJ is a slasher. He gets to the basket. He's very strong. He come in the league like that. He's 19 years old when he came in, you recall, very strong, gets into the lane because of his strength. He overpowers PJ. I mean, when he overpowered PJ Tucker, I was like, this boy is the deal, because that's his thing. Sort of like, Jimmy Butler. We compared Jimmy Butler. But the difference is, and this is where Tom Thibodeau comes in, he's putting in a lot of work in his shot. So his shot, like last night, he was 1 of 2 from the 3-point lane. He was 9 of 15 from the field, 3 or 4 from the line. He's improved tremendously over his rookie year. He's still only 20 years old. So in 2 seasons, RJ is going to be the deal. I mean, he really is. In 2 seasons, this kid is going to be very, very good. Okay. All-star level. Okay. In 2 seasons, you will not see Reggie Bullock. You will not see Elfrid Payton. You will not see Taj Gibson anymore in 2 seasons. But you will see these young guys have taken a step forward. If we still have Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina played almost 15 minutes last night. 0 for 3. You look at the box score, you say, oh, he's -5. He didn't. Did you see the defense that boy was playing on Jrue Holiday? I'm trying to tell y'all, man. For those of you watching the game, defensively, and his game is coming around offensively, as we've been telling y'all as Frank haters. The Frank has been telling y'all. It's coming around. So he was 0 for 3 last night. He didn't shoot a lot, but he was guarding Jrue Holiday. I mean, that's what he was doing. And so when he was in the game guarding him, Frank was doing a tremendous job on Jrue Holiday. He was doing a really good job on Jrue Holiday. He had a steal, but I think he had more than one. It looked like he had more than one in me, but he was doing a tremendous job on Jrue Holiday and forcing the Bucks to get out of what they wanted to do, while he was in the game. That was tremendous. And that's part of a second unit. Like I said, it was Frank. It was Quick, Burks, all of them part of the second unit. And they do a tremendous job in the second unit, man. And Nerlens, the first sign of trouble for me was when I saw Brook Lopez beat Nerlens Noel off the dribble. Now, Nerlens has his strengths and weaknesses, but one of his strengths as a 7-footer is he's very nimble. He's very nimble on his feet for a guy that big with them big feet and skinny body that he had. And when I saw, slow-footed, Brook Lopez moved like his feet weigh like, 200 pounds each, and he beat Nerlens Noel to the basket. I was like, oh no, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. And that was. Nerlens didn't have his best game. Didn't have his best game. But he's a backup center. Hopefully we get Mitch back soon. But Nerlens is doing a good job as a backup center. Then, of course, there's Julius. Now, Julius, 3 of 12. He admitted, was a terrible game for him. 3 of 12. He scored, how many he scored? Julius Randle was held to 7 points. 5 turnovers, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. He just was off. He was out of sync, but a step behind. Shots that was automatic right before the All-Star break was coming up short. He was off. And Julius knows it. I'm not going to kill Julius Randle because he knows he's a pro. This is 7th season. He came in ready and he's going to recover. And matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, because of the type of team we have right now, a loss like this is going to motivate them for the game against OKC. They're going to come out. You're going to see a different team against OKC. They're going to come out extremely energized. If the refs don't take the game away from them, and y'all know what I mean when I say that. If the refs let them play, they're going to come out with like gangbusters. I'm expecting that against OKC, come tomorrow night. I think it is they play. I'm expecting that because this, especially a guy like Julius, who's now, all-star status, who has developed his game and now has really taken pride in all areas of his game, defense and offense and rebounding and assist. He's taking pride in that. Like he did have, last night, like I said, he had 6 assists, but he was just off, out of sync, steps slow, both sides of the ball. He played 28 minutes, which is below what he normally plays. It sounds like a lot of minutes. Like if you gave Obi Toppin 28 minutes, that'd be a lot of minutes, right? But for Julius, he didn't play a lot for him. So anyway, so it was just an off game for him. Peyton was Peyton, 4 of 14. He played good defense. I liked it, but he could have been better. RJ's defense, he plays like a guy that's 20 years old sometimes. I mean, he does. I could see he's going to become a really good defender. And he has moments during the course of every game where he shows that, where he really is a good defender. IQ wise, moves his feet wise, but then there's a lot of other times where he gets beat off the dribble. He's out of position. And last night, he had a few moments like that. You got to live with that with a kid like that because he's going to get better. And I'm, speaking of that, there was an article that everybody was talking about on social media that was in the New York Post. And I called it one of the best articles I've seen in the New York Post in a long time. Of course, Mark Berman did not write it. It was some guy named Yatsik or whatever, Yatsman or whatever. But in the article, it talked about the behind the scenes activities that was going on during the draft process and how Thibodeau, which you see, it said basically Thibodeau's not into rebuilding. Like he wants to win now all the time. And you know what? We need a rebuilding coach. Indeed. But that's where you get a guy like, the back office guy, Brock Allen, or you have a guy like that and you have Rose that tempers Thibodeau. So in other words, Thibodeau's like, trade RJ, trade Mitchell Robinson. Let's get a star in here. Let's get some vets in here. And they're like, no, Tom, no. Work with what you got. Work with what we give you. And that's the thing about Thibodeau. He's a gym rat type of coach. One of my favorite type of coaches. You got him, Jeff Van Gundy, Nate McMillan, guys like that are gym rat type of coaches, man. Like they will coach like if you gave them a whole bunch of 5th graders, they'll coach them like they're in the NBA finals. That's how they do. So they knew that Tom is going to squeeze out whatever he can for whatever roster they put in front of him. So they gave him a bunch of young dudes and obviously they have stressed to him, Mitchell and RJ, they need to play. And we're drafting IQ for a reason. He needs to play. Okay. And so, the only thing when they talked about that, and again, I'm not one of these people that expect everybody to follow what I think or what I think they're going to be perfect. That's not the case. But I like the synergy that went on of who they were going to draft. Wesley was pushing for IQ. Okay. And then you had other people pushing for Obi, Brock pushing for Obi at number 8. But they liked Devin Vassell, which is what we liked as well. They wanted Devin Vassell. but they were pushing back and forth, and Brock really liked Obi. And when Obi did not get picked by Cleveland, they ended up, with Obi. But I liked how it went on. I liked the synergy. I liked the going back and forth. And so you just put in front of Thibodeau who you tell him to coach, and don't make him make personnel decisions, which is what happened in Minnesota, part of his downfall. But you just tell him, coach, we're giving you the ingredients. Put together the cake. And that's what he's doing, right? That's what you need from Thibodeau. That's what you need. Then, of course, it went on to talk about how he wasn't thinking about Randall too much. Neither was I until he met Randall. And, I didn't have that advantage and we didn't have that advantage, but he met Randall, watched him work out, watched his work ethic, and saw what he could become. Because Thibodeau is he's not naturally one to wait and develop. He's not like that. Okay. You got to work under him, and that's why he favors veterans. So the Knicks are in a very good position in how they have the situation set up right now. So nobody expected the Knicks to play 500 ball this year, and they've been a 500 team, for a while now. So that's pretty good for us right now in our first year of the rebuild. Okay. Even though Thibodeau is trying to win every game, which is what you want. You want him to try to win every game. You want him to push his players to their limit. Somebody, well, he plays his players too many minutes. Hey, listen, we coming out the hole. We the Knicks. We coming out the hole. We coming out the cave. We coming out the toilet bowl. We got whatever. Push him. Somebody say, well, it might get hurt. Well, this is the NBA, man. You know what I'm saying? So play these boys. Okay. So he's pushing everybody to get better. And look, everybody on the squad has gotten better. Elfrid Payton has gotten better. And this is his 8th year in the league. He's improved. I mean, we don't want him as the starting point guard going forward, but he's improved. Got to say he's improved. Frank has improved. Okay. Obviously, Julius has improved. Everybody's improved their games, and Kevin, well, Kevin's still a work in progress. I'm not giving up on Kevin. Now, I don't know if the Knicks going to trade him. I know if Thibodeau had his way, he'd be gone already. But Thibodeau doesn't have his way. That's what's good. And not only that, you got too much Kentucky blood on that staff. Too much Kentucky connections on this team. So he's going to get another season. And I hope he does. He needs it. Okay, unless he asks for a trade. But I think he needs another season. Leave Kevin alone. So I'm good with Kevin. As far as getting a star, that's for all y'all that's thinking the Knicks going to the finals this year. Y'all need to stop tripping. We're not going to the finals this year. If the Knicks end up in the 4 to the 6 seed spot, which I think there's a high probability. Like I seen Ian Begley talk about, he thinks they'll be in that 7 to 10 seed in the play-in. Yeah, I could see that, but I think the Knicks gonna end up in the top 6 in the East. I really do. I can see them in the 6th spot. Okay, I can see them in the 6th spot, especially going forward with this team. With Julius, the way he's going to be playing, that last night is not indicative of how he could play. We know that. But I think they're going to end up in the 6th spot. And if the Knicks end up in the 6th spot in the first year they rebuild, daggone, man. That's really good. Okay? Because like I said, in 2 years, you won't see guys like Taj Gibson. You won't see Reggie Bullocks. Those guys won't be on the team. Elfrid Payton won't be around. You're going to have another crew to go around these young guys. You will see, Frank, if he's still on this team. He's going to be somewhere in the NBA playing, but he probably be on the Knicks because he seems like he got 9 lives. You're going to see Obi Toppin. You're going to see RJ Barrett. You're going to see Emmanuel Quickly. You're going to see Mitchell Robinson. These are the guys that are going to be here going forward. You will see Julius Randle. These are the guys that's going to be here going forward. Okay. And they're all going to be that much better in 2 seasons. Okay. Then you add to that who the Knicks might obtain. Like, for example, this year, the talk is all about players like Oladipo. Who else they talking about? Well, we've had rumors of Westbrook at some point. We've had rumors of, several players. They're talking about Oladipo. They're talking about, Lonzo Ball. They're talking about all kinds of things. You're going to get that every year with the Knicks. But there's going to be one year the Knicks going to pull the trigger. And they're going to get a star or somebody that's close to a star, a Jrue Holiday type of player. Maybe not him, but somebody like that. That's a really, really good player. And then that's going to take us to the next level. Okay. I don't know if we'll get a superstar. If we do, it'll be great, next year, but I'm not counting on it. You know what I'm saying? We count on what we have. We're going to get 2 draft picks this year. Actually, we have 2 first rounders, and we got Detroit's second. That's going to be a high second round pick. It's almost like a first round pick. Detroit's one of the worst teams in the league. So you're talking about 2 first rounders and a very high second round pick. So we have all kinds of options. We could turn that into somebody, you know, there's a few players I would look at, you know, depending on how we develop. But in the next 2 seasons, you're going to see the Knicks continue to develop. This season, they're going to continue to develop. Last night was, to me, a tale of where they are versus an example of where they want to be in 2 years. That's what I'm looking at. I'm seeing Milwaukee, and we beat them already once this year. So they got revenge last night. They were prepared. This is a team, in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks, that everybody understands. If you want to talk about the top 5 or 6 teams in the NBA, Milwaukee's going to come up. You want to talk about a threat to win it all, Milwaukee's going to come up. They're in that level right now. The Knicks are not at that level right now. And so we don't fool ourselves. But so no one player is going to put us over there right now this year that we want to give up our young people to do that. No. But we're headed that way. Okay, we're headed that way. So last night was a stinker. It was a stinker. Step slow, bad defense, you know, lack of ball movement. We had 19 assists, which is not bad. They had 19 assists, but you know, Milwaukee had like 24, 25 assists. We got out rebounded badly. I mean, they destroyed us on the boards last night. See, when you're a defensive team, 2 things you can't do. You cannot get beat on the boards, and you cannot be getting beat off the dribble and giving up in the paint. You know, I seen DiVincenzo get in the paint too many times. He's not that quick. I mean, I'm not saying DiVincenzo come out of Villanova program. He's a good ball player. Really is a good ball player. Athletic young boy. But he got in the paint too often, man. That's a bad sign. Especially when you see, you know, our guards giving up that. And then Taj, couple of times, you know, Taj is an older player, right? So you put him on a Giannis, he's going to be, you know, you need help with Giannis. Giannis is one of them top tier superstars, top 5 players, NBA, MVP. So you're not going to guard him with one player. It's like with Julius. Like what I've always been saying, even when I didn't want him on the team, I always said, if you get him one-on-one on a low block with anybody, nobody's going to stop him. That's the way Giannis is even more. So a couple of times they got Taj caught one-on-one with Giannis, and it was over, man. You know, so you got to gang guard him. And if you're going to have one guy guard him, you don't want him guarding him for 24 seconds. You want to try to get a guy on him like a Mitchell Robinson or even Julius for like 10, 15 seconds before you doubling him, you know, getting the ball out of him. And for the first part of the game, Knicks were doing that. But then, you know, bottom dropped out. And then they were hitting threes. They shot almost 48% from 3 yesterday. You can't beat an NBA team when you have them shooting 48% from 3. The Knicks shot almost like 35, 36%, which wasn't bad. But you cannot beat an NBA team, particularly a championship level team, when they're shooting over 47, 48% from 3. That's not going to happen. So, it was one of those games, you know, we learned from that. Time to move on. And, you know, we got a game against, OKC on Saturday night. I'm very confident in our Knicks bouncing back because, they were embarrassed last night. And I like that. When you have a Tom Thibodeau coach team, there's a pride that they play with. There's a pride they play with. And so this is what we've seen from the Knicks this year. They got a 2:00 game, Saturday. It's an afternoon game. Hopefully they're down at OKC right now. It's Friday. Hopefully they're down there because we don't want them getting there tomorrow and then having to get ready for a 2:00 game. So they probably flew out of Milwaukee last night and headed to, they probably in OKC today getting acclimated, getting ready. Then they got a game Monday night against Brooklyn. It's going to be tough. So I want to see them be up for this game against Oklahoma City. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to come out like gangbusters. It's going to be a little tough because it's an afternoon game in Oklahoma City. A 2:00 game in Oklahoma City is probably a 4 or 5 o'clock game in New York. I can't remember the time difference. But I'm expecting them to come out and show that Knick pride, play that Knick defense. If the refs let them play. Now, if the refs start calling every ticky-tacky foul, we might have a problem. But last night, from what I saw, the officiating wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, the officiating last night. The Knicks just stunk last night. But like I said, I'm expecting a better effort against OKC coming up. And so let's get this win in OKC. They got a tough one Monday night against Brooklyn. Kyrie is back. I'm not sure if I don't think Durant is playing yet. Let me see. Is Durant playing? Last night they had Kyrie and they had Harden. Kyrie had 40. Brooklyn played the Celtics, and Kyrie had 40. Now he would be motivated. He seemed to have something against the Celtics, even though he dogged them. But anyway, yeah, he had 40. Harden was 6 of 16, had 30 at 22. Yeah, so it's not going to be easy. Even without Durant, this is going to be difficult. So, we got to be ready. I like our chances now. It's not going to be easy, but I like our chances. Shoot. Let's play. That's why they play the games. All right. Y'all have a safe weekend. Shalom. Let's get some wins. Let's get our Knicks. Let's get some wins for our Knicks, man. Tomorrow, the Knicks should win the game. I won't be, of course, watching the game live, but I will see it tomorrow night on a replay. And I look forward to that. Let's get this win, man. Shalom. Have a good weekend.